Welcome to Working with Display Devices training. Upon completion of this training, participants will be familiar with the procedures and principles regarding the minimum health and safety precautions to be taken when working with screen-based equipment. In this training, we cover risks and protective measures, proper posture, eye protection, eye-friendly fonts and colors, short eye rests, resting eyes/muscles/skeletal system, and breaks with simple exercises. Display device is any device that displays letters, numbers, shapes, graphics, and images on its screen, regardless of the content of the operation being performed. Operator is the person using the display device. Work center is the work area where the operator sits, the table where the screen device is placed, the information recording unit, monitor, keyboard, printer, telephone, fax, modem, and similar accessories, and all or part of the equipment related to the screen device. Screen-based device covers all vehicles that display letters, numbers, shapes, graphics, and images on their screens, regardless of the content of the operation being performed. Here are the devices not covered by the scope of screen-based devices. Control cabins of mobile machinery and vehicles. Computer systems in the control of transportation vehicles. Computer systems available for public use. Portable systems not used continuously in the workplace. Calculators, cash registers, and similar small screen devices displaying data or measurement results. Screen-based typewriters are not included in the scope of screen-based devices. The proper and appropriate use of screen-based equipment, which plays a significant role in the workplace, is crucial for both occupational health and safety and productivity. In all occupational groups where screen-based equipment is used, the risks associated with the use of such equipment must be assessed, and necessary precautions must be taken. So, who is considered as a screen-based vehicle user? Under the regulations, which employees are considered screen-based vehicle users, operators can be determined based on the following criteria. Continuous use of a screen-based vehicle for at least 1 hour during the routine work schedule. Screen-based vehicle use constitutes the majority of the work period, requiring high levels of concentration and attention. The nature of the work necessitates the use of a screen-based vehicle. The use of a screen-based vehicle that requires special training or skills. When conducting a risk assessment at the workplace, the employer shall take into account the risks arising from the use of display screen equipment in workplaces, particularly risks related to vision, physical problems, and mental stress, and shall take all necessary health and safety measures to eliminate or minimize the effects of such risks, any additional effects they may cause, and the adverse effects that may arise from the combination of risks. Employers shall ensure that workplaces and work are organized in a manner appropriate to the individual in order to minimize the risks arising from display screen equipment, inform their employees about risk reduction, and plan adequate rest breaks. Here are the employer's responsibilities. The suitability of the workplace in terms of occupational health and safety must be assessed. Appropriate equipment, working environment, and software must be provided. The necessary work organization must be implemented to minimize health and safety risks. The necessary eye examinations must be conducted to protect the eyes. The necessary training and information must be provided. The cost of the measures taken cannot be passed on to employees. The employer shall provide employees and their representatives with information on all matters relating to health and safety at the workplace. The employer provides employees working with screen-based equipment with the necessary training on occupational health and safety, taking into account the relevant legal provisions, before starting work and whenever there are significant changes in working conditions. Workers' occupational health and safety training is repeated at intervals specified in the relevant legislation and when required by the results of risk assessments conducted at the workplace. Training shall include risks associated with working with screen-based equipment and methods of protection, proper posture, eye protection, eye-friendly fonts and colors, the habit of taking short breaks to rest the eyes during work, resting the eyes, muscles, and skeletal system, breaks and exercises. In order to reduce the workload and impact of work performed with screen-based equipment, the employer shall ensure that operators take periodic breaks or rotate to other tasks by drawing up an appropriate work schedule. Consultation with employees and ensuring their participation. The employer shall obtain the opinions and suggestions of employees and their representatives on the matters specified in this regulation, as specified in Law Number 6331, and ensure their participation. When working with screen-based equipment, attention must be paid to factors such as equipment, the work environment, and the operator-computer interface. In a healthy and safe working environment where the workplace is properly set up and regular breaks are taken, risks associated with screen-based equipment can be avoided. The basic risks commonly accepted in working with screen-based equipment are musculoskeletal disorders such as back pain and upper extremity disorders, eye problems, fatigue, and stress. Users who are exposed to these risks at lower levels during short-term use may face more serious consequences during long-term use if healthy and safe working conditions are not provided. When conducting a risk assessment at the workplace, all health and safety measures should be implemented to eliminate or minimize the potential effects of risks related to vision, physical issues, and mental stress, as well as the negative impacts arising from the interaction of different risks. The suitability of the work environment should be evaluated accordingly. A series of musculoskeletal disorders that occur in the hands, arms, shoulders, and neck as a result of work activities are defined as upper extremity disorders or work-related upper extremity disorders. These disorders can range from temporary fatigue and pain in the limbs to chronic soft tissue disorders such as peritendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome. Working with screen-based equipment can cause back pain or exacerbate existing back pain. This is particularly true if the sitting position is poor or poorly adjusted, the workstation has insufficient space or is poorly designed, or if workers sit for long periods without changing position or stand for long periods in the same posture. Musculoskeletal disorders can be largely prevented by simple adjustments in the work center, such as ergonomic measures, repositioning equipment, or adjusting chairs, and by training employees on topics such as correct hand position and posture. Simple office exercises should be performed regularly at specific intervals in the workplace. Here is a simple office exercise. Move your neck 5 times to the right, left, forward, and backward. Do not strain yourself at first. As time passes and your neck muscles strengthen, the range of motion will naturally increase. Fatigue and stress are commonly observed in individuals who use screen-based devices. Stress can lead to physical and psychological disorders, job dissatisfaction and performance issues, increase employee turnover and absenteeism, cause depression and anxiety, and result in various physical ailments. Many stress-related disorders can result in a loss of motivation in the workplace, slowed work, decreased performance, reduced productivity, and can cause various accidents and injuries. Here are the most important factors causing fatigue and stress: lack of control over work/inability to influence decisions, pressure caused by workload, high-paced repetitive work, working in the same position for extended periods, insufficient breaks, not assigning tasks appropriate to the employee's qualifications. Fatigue and stress can be alleviated by correcting certain issues in the work center, ensuring that the software is appropriate for the task, assigning tasks according to the employee's qualifications and workload, ensuring that employees take breaks at regular intervals, and performing different work activities. Eye disorders are commonly seen in people who use screen-based devices. Working with screen-based devices does not cause permanent damage to the eyes, but prolonged use may lead to certain disorders. Eye disorders are typically caused by the following conditions: working continuously for extended periods without breaks while using screen-based devices, improper positioning of the screen-based device, glare on the screen, straining colors, and small text, poor lighting, glare, and reflections, flashing or flickering images on the screen. Here are the symptoms of eye disorder: eye fatigue and pain, discomfort, redness, dryness, burning in the eyes, blurred vision, temporary peripheral loss of vision, headache. The characters displayed on the screen should be easy to select, in an appropriate shape and form, and of a suitable size, with sufficient space between lines and characters. The screen display should be stable, without flickering or other similar issues. The brightness and contrast between the characters and the background should be easily adjustable by the user. Symbols on keyboard keys should be easily readable and selectable according to the working position. Before starting work with screen-based equipment, regular eye examinations must be conducted at intervals determined by the workplace physician based on the results of the risk assessment conducted prior to commencing work with screen-based equipment. If eye discomfort arises from working with screen-based equipment, employees must undergo eye examinations. Based on the examination results, employees must be provided with appropriate tools and equipment suitable for their work if necessary. To protect your eyes, choose fonts and colors that are easy on the eyes and take regular breaks to rest your eyes. At regular intervals, look away from the screen or out of the window to exercise your eyes. This simple refocusing exercise helps prevent eye strain. On the screen, use dark text on a light background and ensure that the text is of an appropriate size. In work environments where sufficient natural light is not available, appropriate and adequate artificial lighting is provided. Lighting in work areas must be suitable for all tasks performed in the work area, such as reading from a screen, writing text, writing on paper, and keyboard work. In some cases, glare may occur due to glare and reflection on the keyboard and screen. Therefore, it is necessary to select, position, and arrange lighting fixtures to avoid high glare reflections. When facing a screen, the number of blinks decreases, which can lead to dry eyes. Blinking frequently and using eye drops if necessary can help keep the eye surface moist. The top edge of the monitor should be at eye level and slightly lower for those using bifocal glasses. The screen should be at a distance suitable for the operator/employee's working position and at eye level. Approximate screen distances according to character height. 50 centimeters distance for character heights between 3.2 and 4.5 millimeters. 60 centimeters distance for character heights between 3.9 and 5.5 millimeters. 70 centimeters distance for character heights between 4.5 and 6.4 millimeters. 80 centimeters distance for character heights between 5.2 and 7.3 millimeters. Before starting work with screen-based equipment and whenever vision difficulties arise as a result of working with screen-based equipment, employees undergo eye examinations. To protect operators' eyes during work with screen-based equipment. Before starting work with screen-based equipment, at regular intervals determined by the workplace physician based on the results of the risk assessment, when vision difficulties arise due to working with screen-based equipment, eye examinations are conducted. Based on the results of the examinations, operators/employees are provided with appropriate tools and equipment as required for their work. The characters displayed on the screen should be easily selectable in shape and form, of appropriate size, and there should be sufficient spacing between lines and characters. The screen display should be stable, without flickering or other similar issues. The brightness and contrast between the characters and the background should be easily adjustable by the operator/user. The screen should be adjustable or used on an adjustable desk. There should be no reflections or glare on the screen that could disturb the user. The screen viewing area varies depending on the screen size and the distance between the screen and the eyes. Many sources provide different figures, but the approximate appropriate angle range is stated to be 15 degrees minus 50 degrees. The keyboard should be separate from the screen and movable to prevent the employee's hands and arms from getting tired and to allow them to work comfortably. The front of the keyboard should have special supports where the user can rest their wrists. There should be sufficient space in front of the keyboard for the employee's hands and arms. The features and locations of the keyboard keys should be designed to facilitate keyboard use. The symbols on the keyboard keys should be easily readable and selectable according to the working position. In general, it is important to position the keyboard close to the user's body's midline. The goal is to prevent the arm from extending as if it were reaching from the shoulder. To prevent excessive use of the arm, the mouse should be placed close to the user's body. There should be sufficient space around the mouse to allow it to move freely. A mouse pad with wrist support can increase comfort for employees who use a mouse for most of their work time. The work desk or work surface should be large enough to allow the screen, keyboard, documents, and other related materials to be arranged comfortably and should not reflect light. Document holders should be positioned and adjustable to minimize the need for uncomfortable eye and head movements. There should be sufficient space for the employee to be in a comfortable position. The chair should be stable and allow the operator/employee to sit in a comfortable position and move easily. The height of the seat should be adjustable. The backrest should be adjustable forward/backward and up/down, and the back support should be lumbar supporting and flexible. A footrest suitable for the operator/worker should be provided when required. Appropriate lighting conditions should be provided, taking into account the requirements of the operator/employee and the type of work being performed, and there should be adequate contrast between the background and the screen. The location and technical specifications of artificial lighting sources should be such that glare and reflections on the screen and other equipment are prevented. Horizontal and vertical adjustable blinds should be used to control the amount of daylight entering the screen. The noise level of equipment used in work centers should be at a level that does not distract workers or prevent them from communicating with each other. The temperature and humidity in the work environment should be maintained at appropriate levels, should not cause discomfort to employees, and these levels should be maintained. Programs should be suitable for the job. Programs should be easy to use and, if appropriate, adjustable according to the operator's knowledge and experience. Systems should be feedback-based to increase employee productivity and provide convenience. Systems should provide information to the operator at an appropriate speed and in an appropriate format. Programs should comply with software ergonomics principles, which means that the software should have features that positively influence the user's work performance, especially in terms of data perception and use. In recent years, studies conducted in various countries and industries have proven the effectiveness of comprehensive safety training programs and initiatives in improving job satisfaction, quality of life, employee comfort, control over injuries and stress, as well as increasing productivity and efficiency. Long-term follow-up studies have also demonstrated cost-effectiveness by proving their effectiveness on medical expenses, lost work days, insurance compensation payments, and return to work.